Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for today's educational presentation where I want to talk to you about advanced breakout trading. Now, breakout trading is probably something that most of you have tried before and probably with not the type of results you were promised, because breakout trading is very difficult trying to discern where an actual breakout is going to happen or if it's actually a fake out breakout, what we call. For example, as we take a look at this chart here, an older chart in Adobe, it's going lower. But you say to yourself, gosh, I want to buy this. I think it's going to be heading up pretty soon. And all of a sudden, somebody tells you about this bullish engulfing pattern here and very positive candlestick pattern. So you say to yourself, wow, I think I'm going to buy it because it's going to break out to the upside, probably make new highs within the next week. So you decide to buy, thinking it's going to break out to the upside. And then this happens, right? Now you have a huge loss on your hands, but you're still holding on to the position, hoping and praying that it'll start to go back up. And then you have a really nice, strong upward day. Now, maybe you go to that chat room or that trading room and that guy says, now we've really bottomed out. This is actually the bottom. Or maybe that guy on TV says you have to buy this. So you decide to double up because you say to yourself, well, if I purchase more, I just need it to go up a little bit and I could at least break even or make a lot more money. So you double up and buy more, and this happens. So far you have not had a breakout at all, and it just looks like it's just going sideways. So you say to yourself, gosh, this is not working at all. I've got a huge loss on my hands. I doubled up and now I'm really losing. So you decide to exit with a large loss. Well, what if I told you, based on this bar alone, that Adobe was actually breaking out? And there's an actual strategy, a method with one click on your computer where you could find out that it was breaking out. And if you decided to buy, that would have been a wise decision because the stock rose 70 points in the following month. Now, this can work to the downside as well, because a breakout to the downside is just called a breakdown. For example, we have a nice upward trend here in Netflix, this older chart in Netflix, and you say to yourself, hey, Steve, why would I want to sell this or think it's going to break down? Look at its higher highs, higher lows, classic uptrend example, right? So you say to yourself, I think I'm going to even buy some more. But once again, based off this tool that we're going to be talking about today, it actually identified a breakdown entry right here towards the high prior to the stock falling 165 points in the next couple of weeks. So this is what is going to be the topic of discussion today, advanced breakout trading, and how you can really take your trading to the next level by using this technique, where you'll only exclusively find it on the PTS Primo charting platform. This is the educational platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies that actually identifies advanced breakouts for you. So welcome, my name is Steven Primo. I am the president and founder of Specialist Trading. If you're new to my webinars, we're all about educating you. I know a lot of you go to webinars thinking, well, I'll find out what this guy thinks of the market, or I'll see what he thinks about this stock, or what the best time frame is to trade. Well, that's not what a good educator does. See, we're an educational company with our sole purpose of teaching and educating you all the things that I've accumulated in my nearly 50 years of trading. I started trading on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange, where I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. A specialist is someone who made markets in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So I did that roughly for 9 years. I traded through the crash of 87 and the market rally that happened after that. And I, after that, managed money and traded my own account. And about 15 years ago, I started devoting just about all of my time to teaching and educating traders, all the things that I've accumulated in my nearly 5 decades of trading. So that's what you'll see today, a lot of attention geared towards educating you so that you can be in charge of your trading and you can make your own trading decisions. So before we begin, please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results by using this breakdown tool, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And as I said earlier, since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Another way to get more education on a daily basis is simply to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. Or if you're watching this via YouTube, kindly hit the subscribe button and we'll have a lot more content for you. Okay, so 2 ways to follow us or to see more of our content, either by following us on X or subscribing to us on YouTube. Okay, so let's begin today's educational presentation. And I want to start by asking you a question. What if there was a breakout indicator designed to identify advanced breakdown areas? Well, we already think, well, there must be already that exists. But actually, what if there was something that you've never seen before based on parameters that you had never really traded with before? Well, there is. We call it the PSBI. Now, a lot of students always ask me, what do all these strategies or indicators stand for, all these initials and things? Well, this is really simple. The PSBI simply stands for the Primo Secret Breakout Indicator. So let's talk about some of the highlights of this particular method. It's based on a concept that I was taught some 5 decades ago by my mentors, which I discuss in my book, and it's called Everyone Out of the Pool. I talked about it in my book, Secrets of a Stock Exchange Specialist. Now, a lot of traders think that a breakout will occur when you have some tremendous support, or the institutions are buying, or some type of downward trend line has been broken. But according to this concept that was taught to me, a breakout really occurs when the last seller has sold. And conversely, a breakdown happens the same way. It doesn't happen when support has been breached or when an uptrend has been broken. No, a breakdown happens when the last buyer has bought. In other words, all of the opposite side is out of the pool. Now, it's designed to identify these true breakout areas. So you never have to worry about, well, gosh, I bought this breakout tool and look, that was a breakout, but it was a fake out breakout. I bought, and the minute I bought, it went down. Now, we have formulated it into a proprietary indicator, but that's actually good news because it's very complicated. We've taken the hard work out of it for you and turned it around into a format which is very simple to apply. And you can apply it to virtually any market and any direction. So if you like to trade stocks breaking out and breaking down, that's great. If you want to only trade it on crypto going up, that's fine. If you only want to trade it on currency pairs going up to the breakout area, that's fine. Now, it can be used as an exit, stop, and reverse tool as well. Now, what does this mean? Well, a lot of traders don't like to go short. They don't like to take breakdown signals. They feel uncomfortable with that. Well, that's fine. Let's say you are long a particular market based on anything. It could be based on one of the strategies that you purchased from another educator, or it could be something you developed on your own. You can actually use the PSBI as an exiting tool. Or you can, once again, stop and reverse. Wait for breakouts, buy, wait for a breakdown, sell, and vice versa. You're always in the market. And then lastly, the best thing about this is that you will have the ability to scan for these nightly setups. You can look through a vast array of markets, crypto, currency pairs, ETFs, stocks from different exchanges, different markets, to find out where these nightly setups are for breakouts to the upside and breakdowns to the downside. Okay, so let's look at some PSBI examples. And once again, everything you're seeing here is displayed on the platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies. This is the PTS Primo charts that identifies these advanced breakouts. So we'll go through the actual process in which you would have to identify these breakouts and show you how simple it is. Why? Because we've taken the hard work out of it for you. Okay, let's start out with upside breakouts, where the market looks like it's bottoming out and is going to go higher. All right, so we're looking at this stock here, this older chart of ADP. Now, if you're looking for breakouts to the upside, you want to identify a market that is going lower. And as we can see here with the red arrow, this stock is heading lower. In other words, if a stock or a market is heading lower, you're not going to look for it to break down, right? Because it's already headed down. You're looking for it to reverse and break out to the upside. So what the first thing you would do is, on our platform, click on PSBI in the upper green strategy tab, all right? And in the drop-down menu, since the stock has been going lower, you want to click up buy area. Now, if the proprietary indicator has identified that there is a secret breakout area, it will paint a green block around bars. Now, if it doesn't formulate that there is any type of breakout area, nothing will be displayed. So let's see if the indicator displayed anything. Well, yes, it did. So this is what we call the PSBI secret breakout area. Now, this does not mean that you simply buy at the market if it's in this green display. What this means is this is our breakout area, and it's setting up for a breakout to the upside, but it has to trade above this horizontal line here, and we give you the price right there, okay? So what you could do is you could place an order. You don't have to be in front of your computer all the time. All it has to do is trade there. So you could place a buy stop, or if you're in front of your computer, if you're able to be there, you could simply buy at the market whenever it trades there. Once again, it does not have to close above there. All it has to do is trade there. That's the breakout based on these 3 bars right here. So let's see what happened. Well, the very next bar, it did trade there and it actually closed above. So this is your breakout entry right here. And in the coming weeks, the stock was up 30 points. Once again, extremely simple. We've taken all the hard work out of it for you. There's nothing you have to calculate or formulate. It's all right there. All you have to know is if price trades above that green displayed area. All right, we're looking at MAR here. All right, Marriott. Obviously, it's heading lower as displayed by the red down arrow. So if it's going lower, we're wondering if perhaps it's going to break out to the upside. Now, if the indicator identifies that there is a secret breakout area being generated, it will display that green block. If it doesn't, if the requirements are not met, nothing will be displayed. So once again, on our platform, click on PSBI, click it on. In the drop-down menu, click on buy area since it's been heading lower. And yes, it is displaying a green area. So once again, we have our price right here. And someone would say, gosh, how can this be a breakout? This is not breaking out any type of downtrend. The breakout would actually be more up here, right? This is based on a proprietary indicator that has nothing to do with support and resistance, downtrends, institutions, has nothing to do with that. It's based on the last seller has left the pool. That's it. So we're looking to see if it trades above there. And guess what? On the very next bar, it gapped up. Now it's your choice. Once again, this is not a system, so you can decide whether you want to buy higher or not, because a lot of traders don't feel comfortable buying up, and that's okay. But had you could have potentially captured 52 points in the next month. Here's an example we looked at earlier in Adobe. Okay, Adobe's going lower. Here's the secret breakout area. Now, it's very hard to see, but it just barely traded above that horizontal line there. So that in itself is actually a breakout entry. And look what happened. The stock shot up 70 points in the next month. If we look at an entirely different market, an entirely different time frame, here's an hourly chart of the euro yen. Well, nothing changes because we're looking at different parameters. It's the exact same process. That's why we make it simple. So we have a green breakout area displayed, and here is the breakout right there. That would have been your entry. And in one day, you could have potentially captured 150 pips. That's roughly $1,500 potentially per unit you would have purchased just in one day. Now, here's an example in Microsoft. Now, a lot of times you may see this because even though the displays I've shown have displayed where you buy it and it breaks out, it continues going higher and higher, sometimes it takes a while for the breakout to generate. For example, here's an actual entry in Microsoft going back a couple of months. And look what happened after that. It went lower. Now, a lot of people say, well, gosh, I have a loss on my hands. Well, using our proprietary money management with our stop losses, which we share with you in the course, most likely you still would have been in this trade, okay? Because with our stop losses, we are protecting you. At the same time, in advance where that stop loss is even prior to entering the trade. So you can decide for yourself if you want to take that much risk or not. But using one of our basic stop losses, you would have still been in this trade. And even though the first week would have had you with a loss, had you held on, you could have potentially captured 85 points. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to generate and to actually kick in. As we look at this example in ZS, okay, let's go through the process. Once again, which direction is this stock headed? Is it headed up? No, it's headed obviously lower. So in that case, if it's headed lower, we want to see if there's perhaps a secret breakout entry being displayed. So the only way to find out is to click on PSBI, click on buy, because we're not looking for it to go down. We're looking for it to reverse and go higher. And there is just one bar has been displayed, okay? So we know right off the bat that we're going to buy if it trades on the very next bar right above here. So let's track it and see what happened. The very next bar, it did trade above. So there was our entry right there. And 115 points in the next month or so, okay? And these are all breakouts to the upside. Let's look at some downside breakdowns because the same process applies. We're just going to flip it upside down. Here we're going to start off looking at CDNS. Now, obviously, we're in an uptrend. So if we're in an uptrend, we're not looking for this to break out to the upside. It's already going up. We're obviously looking for the reverse. Let's see if it's going to be breaking down. So click on PSBI. In this case, now we click on sell. And yes, we are in the red secret breakdown area, but this does not mean we sell at the market. The same process applies. We can only go short if we trade one tick below here. So once again, you can place a stop loss. You can buy some puts at the market once it trades there. It's up to you, whatever you'd want to do, but we can't actually trade until it goes below this horizontal line. Now, it can happen on the very next bar. It could take a week, maybe a full month before it trades there. So you always have to be careful and watch and make sure that you're on top of it. But in this case, it traded on the next bar, and if you were lucky enough to be in front of your computer, you could have sold, or you could have actually bought some puts or maybe some spread with a downward bias and potentially captured 24 points in just 2 days. Okay. Now, we know a lot of students, they don't like to go short. They just feel uncomfortable. That's fine. You could use this once again as an exiting tool. So let's say you're just long this stock based on some other strategy, some other parameters, and you just want to use the PSBI to make sure you exit prior to it breaking down. Another example here in Charter. Obviously, this is going higher, as we can see with the green arrow. So we're not looking for it to break out to the upside. It's already done that. We're looking if it's going to break down. Now, if the indicator does not identify a breakdown area, nothing will be displayed. But if we click on the PSBI right here in the green strategy tab, and in the sell area, we see, yes, it has identified a secret sell area. But once again, we don't simply sell at the market. It has to trade below this horizontal line. So as we track it, it traded just below there on the very next bar. You would have gone short or exited your long or purchased some puts, whatever you wanted to do, and potentially captured 33 points in the next couple of weeks, or saved yourself a 33-point loss if you happen to be long. Let's look at FANG. Okay, now FANG obviously broke down. We were in the red secrets breakdown area for 4 bars, 4 days, and it gapped down. And once again, if you wanted to take advantage of this on the gap down, it's up to you. But had you done that, that was a good sale. You had a profit on the very first day. And if you held in there, next 3 days, you could have potentially captured 40 points, or at least saved yourself 40 points. Here's an example in the Canadian dollar, right? Once again, looking at an entirely different market and entirely different time frame. Here's a 4-hour chart. We go through the same exact process. We were in the red displayed area for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. Didn't do anything until we broke down here on the 5th 4-hour bar. That was our trigger to exit or to sell. 150 pips in the next week. Once again, $1,500 per unit. Here's an hourly chart of Tesla for all you intraday traders here. Obviously, Tesla is headed higher, right? So we're not looking for a breakout to the upside. We're looking for it to see if it's going to reverse. So we click on the PSBI and we see that, yes, we are now in the red secret breakdown display. But we cannot sell at the market because for all we know, it's going to continue going higher. We want for it to trade below this point right here. So it's been in there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. It could be there for another day, another week. We don't know, but we're waiting for it to break down below this area. And in 2 more hours it did, or 3 more hours. And so that's our entry point right here. And look what happened in the next couple of days. It dropped 50 points. Now, once again, don't you think you would have liked to have this indicator if you were intraday trading Tesla? Remember, it can be applied to any market, any time frame, and any direction. Okay, let's go through the process here. We have VRTX. Obviously, we're in an uptrend. So we're not looking for a buy area to be displayed. We're looking for a sell area to be displayed. Therefore, we have to click on the PSBI and click on sell area. Now, if the indicator does not identify that a breakdown sell area due to its requirements is being displayed, nothing will be shown. But if it is meeting all the requirements, then yes, it will show. And it does. There's our secret breakdown area, and here is the breakdown. It's hard once again to see, but we just barely traded there. And look what happened. The next week, it fell roughly about 80 points. You could have gotten in right near the highs and exited. Or you could have saved yourself a nice 80-point loss if you were long. Okay, let's review what we shared with you today. The highlights of this particular indicator, it's based on the concept we call everyone out of the pool, meaning that breakdowns occur when all of the buyers are out, the last buyer has bought, and breakouts to the upside occur when the last seller has sold. Everyone is out of the pool, basically, according to that metaphor. It's designed to identify these true breakout areas. Now, it's a proprietary indicator. We're keeping the formula in-house, but we're doing that to do a favor for you, because trust me, you would not want to be calculating this with a hand calculator and a spreadsheet on an almost tick-by-tick basis. We made it extremely simple, where all you have to do is identify those green breakout areas or those red breakdown areas, and then just wait and buy above or sell below. You can apply it to any market in any direction, as I just shared with you a bunch of examples. And it can be used as an exit. If you're not comfortable with going short and you're long, you can just say, listen, I'm going to use this as my exiting tool. I don't feel comfortable. Or stop and reverse. When it breaks out to the upside, you go long and you wait for a breakdown signal. Now, the best thing is, with our PTS Primo charting platform, you can scan for these setups on a nightly basis. So you'll know exactly where the breakouts and the breakdowns are being generated. So ask yourself, after the examples I just shared with you, do you think the PSBI can help your trading for the remainder of 2025? Well, I think the answer is a resounding yes. So we have a great special attendee offer for all of you because you've taken the time out of your Wednesday to see this presentation. We're going to offer you our PSBI, all right? This is our new PSBI tool. It's a non-traditional breakout tool. It generates a lot of setups. So for traders who like a lot of trading, you don't want to sit and wait for one signal every month, this is going to generate a lot. And applies to both breakouts and breakdowns in any market and in any time frame. Also, you can use it as a stop loss method. But I'm going to share with you an extra bonus, okay? This is an extra bonus for signing up today. Here's what we have. The PSBI price projections. Now, what are the price projections? Well, these are, once again, a proprietary formula that is identified based off of these secret breakout areas or breakdown areas where price is most likely to go. Now, you can use this as an exiting tool. A lot of our students who are in the PSBI program like to use this as a stop placement tool. Once we get to the price projection, they'll raise their stop. There's lots of different ways to apply it, these price projections, and we cover them in the course. But let me show you what I mean here. Okay, here was an older chart of Apple, and we had a breakout area displayed right here. Now, let's say you were thinking to yourself, well, okay, I was thinking about going long Apple, but where can this go? I mean, is it worth my while to get into it? Well, here's a great way to help you make the decision. So once again, click on the PSBI up here. And since you're breaking out to the upside, click on Buy PP. That's Buy Price Projection. And you can find out where the formula has calculated that most likely price will at least go here. It doesn't mean it's going to stop there, but it means it most likely will be at this price projection at some point. Now, if that's worth your while, I say, okay, that's a good 5 or 6 points. I can take that. Or maybe you want to buy the options. You say, that's fine. So this will help you possibly in making your decision. And look what happened. In 2 days, it got up to the price projection. So it did it pretty quickly. Now, there's no type of time format included. It doesn't tell you how long it will take. It just says that most likely price will be there after the breakout. And look what happened after that. So this is why we say a lot of our students like to use the price projections as an exiting tool. Here's another example in MS, Morgan Stanley. Now, it was identifying a breakdown area, but the breakdown hadn't occurred yet. So let's say you were interested in buying some puts. You thought this was going to be a good stock to short and represent the market, but you weren't sure where you thought it would go, and you thought maybe the price projection could help you. So once again, since this is a sell or a breakdown, you would click on the PSBI and click on sell price projection. And right here, that's a pretty good price projection, okay? So you're saying to yourself, wow, that's a pretty good distance. I think I'd like to take that setup. So you will decide to go short, buy the puts, whatever you want to do. And on the next bar, you could have gotten short. And look what happened. In 2 days, once again, hit the price projection. You could have gotten out of your short altogether or exited your puts or your spread strategy, whatever you wanted to. And look what happened after that. This is a great, great formula because it's oftentimes this acts like a magnet, like price will go to that area. Now, once again, sometimes it goes to that area and keeps going, but at least it identifies where price is most likely to be. And oftentimes it will stop and reverse. Here's another example in DDOG of a breakdown. Click on PSBI, click on sell area, or actually you should be clicking on sell PP, I'm sorry. And there's the price projection, okay? In 3 days, you could have entered, gone short, covered your short before it went all the way back up. Here's a breakout area in KLAC. Click on PSBI, buy price projection. That looks like a pretty good run. You say to yourself, wow, if there's a good chance, if there's a high probability that price is going to get all the way up there, I think I'll take advantage of it. So you actually buy on the breakout. And in a little over a week, it gets right to the price projection. So that would have been a good place to exit or at least take some of your profit off the table before it stopped and reversed. You will only find the PSBI price projections on the PTS Primo charting platform. So therefore, you need the platform as well in order to adequately be able to apply the PSBI along with the price projection. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the extra bonus. You see how powerful our platform is and how simple we made trading on the platform. We're going to throw in, whoops, if I go a little fast here, a full free year of the platform. You're going to save nearly $1,800 by becoming a student in the PSBI course. A full year of the platform where you're able to click on the PSBI, you're able to click on the price projections. But it doesn't just stop there. We're also going to throw in so many other things that I just don't have the time to talk about. I don't want to take all of your Wednesday that are included. Other techniques, other strategies, like a signal scanner included with the enhanced buy-sell lines to tell you the overall trend, a strength of trend tool to tell you when a trend may be running out of steam or not, auto-generated signals, all of this included, along with dozens more things that you'll only find on the PTS Primo charting platform because most of them are taken from my days on the trading floor. Now, still not convinced? Let's look at an example that happened just about 3 months ago. So a lot of people say, well, Steve, I don't really trade stocks or currency pairs or futures or crypto. I kind of just look at the market as a whole. I trade ETFs or market indices. Well, you can apply the PSBI to a market indice. Here is the GSPC or the indice of the S&P 500, okay? So as we saw here earlier in the year, the market was going higher, doing very well. So if it's going higher, we want to see if it's going to reverse. So through the same process, but we're not trading the stocks, we're not trading currency pairs, we're actually looking to see the market direction. Click on PSBI, and now we have a breakdown area. This was at the end of February coming into March, okay? Now, how could that be? It looked like we were going straight up. The market's doing really well. Well, we all know what happened to the market. February, March, it fell out of bed. I knew there was a lot of news about tariffs, a lot of news about fundamental economic conditions. The PSBI doesn't take any of that into consideration. It only looks at market behavior based on this proprietary formula. And it, right near or at the top, told you that a breakdown was about to happen. So you could have basically used this as a market directional tool and saved yourself roughly about 3,000 points in the down. So this is a great tool. Even if you don't want to apply it to trading, you can use it to tell you what you think of a market or a sector or a particular indice that you're tracking. Trust me, a year from today, you will have wished you became a member of the PSBI course. We have tons of testimonials of students who trade it, who love it. They use it on different markets, different time frames, and it's really taking their trading to the next level. Come on board. Let's break it down for you, okay? Here's the new PSBI tool, our Primo Secret Breakout Indicator. Now, normally it would cost you close to $5,000, but because you're attending today, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a discount of roughly 10% down to $44.95. But we're not going to stop there. If you are not able to even come up with $44.95, that's fine. We still have payment plans available. So the good people at Pro Trader Strategies would be happy to establish a payment plan. So for a fraction of that $44.95, you can still be up and running. Just pay a small deposit and establish a payment plan, and you can still be up and running with the PSBI tool as early as today. Now, regardless of which way you want to go, you want to take the 10% discount at pay in full at $44.95, or just with a fraction of that cost, put a one-time down payment and establish a payment plan, you will still get, either way, a full year free of the platform. So this is a great, great offer, a great way to turn your trading around. Here's how to take advantage of this. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. I would highly recommend giving them a call at this number, area code 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants that would be happy to answer any question you have about the platform, about data, about tech support, or about the PSBI. They'd be happy to share with you some examples. And also, if you're looking for more current examples, I would once again go to my formerly known as Twitter or X page, and that I showed at the beginning of this presentation. And I have a lot of examples that happened within the last week of very, very current PSBI breakouts to the upside, as well as breakdowns to the downside. So there's lots of great ways to see what's happening currently with the PSBI. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. You can also sign up online if you'd like, but it's not a live link. But the good people at Pro Trader Strategies have posted a live link in the chat box. So if you go to the chat box right now, you'll see a live link there. You can click that on, and a browser will open up for you to take you to that info page, okay? Remember, this is a limited time offer. This is not something that if you sit on for the next couple of weeks or maybe even a month and say to yourself, wow, my trading is just getting worse and worse. Okay, I'll take advantage of this. I'll contact Pro Trader Strategies. Most likely it will be back to that close to $5,000 price level without any discounts, and it may not even include a full year of the platform. So if you're really serious about really taking charge of your trading, I would at least give them a call. Once again, at area code 310-598-6677, okay? And as we conclude today's educational presentation and we take one last look at our disclaimer, I just want to say thanks for taking time out of your Wednesday. I hope you saw how we really want to educate you as traders and take your trading to the next level. So please contact Pro Trader Strategies with any questions, or if you want to establish a payment plan, they can give you a quote. And don't worry, they're not there to, you're not obligated. They're not there to oversell you anything. Just if you just want answers to some questions, they'd be more than happy to work with you. They're very flexible and they're there to help you, okay? As we close, I just want to say thank you so much for attending, and I wish you all the best of luck trading. Thank you so much. Hope to see you in the PSBI course. Bye-bye.